I'm going to say again, the Pac-12 and the Mountain West should have merged. The Pac-12 and the Mountain West and the departing Mountain West schools could not reach a resolution over the $150 million in ethics fees and poaching penalties. They made a joint filing Tuesday with the court, and it appears the leagues are headed to a trial. Lawyers win again. Lawyers win again. This is a huge deal. I just will continue to go back, and I will say this over and over and over again. Nobody wins when this goes to trial. I don't care who the ultimate outcome is, because now you're going to pay lawyers. And in the Pac-12, you have spent a lifetime paying lawyers. And the Pac-12 fans are going to say, good. We're going to trial and we're going to win. You're not going to win. Let's say the verdict does go your way. You're not going to win.
Yeah, I was going to say my first reaction to seeing this, because frankly, I'm shocked to see this. I cannot believe that the Pac-12, or the Mountain West would allow this to go to court. But I think, number one, this speaks to the vitriol between the two. I don't think that the Pac-12 has ever been interested in working something out. And I think that this also speaks to Gloria Nevarez's ability to, as a cool kid say, stand on business. I think that this clearly said that the Mountain West has stood firm and said, hey, you signed a piece of paper that stipulated certain exit fees and payments and monies due to the Mountain West if you poach schools, and you don't want to pay that now. So I think that this is a clear sign that the Pac-12 somehow has come to the thought or the conclusion that they have enough evidence to win in court, and they've been stubborn through the mediation process. And honest to God, because I know everyone says, oh, well, you guys hate the Pac-12. I actually don't hate the Pac-12.
At all.
This, in my opinion, is one of the saddest days in Pac-12 history, because in my opinion, based on the evidence and based on what we know to be true, you're going to go to court, you're going to lose, and I think you are going to struggle to survive if you lose this case, because you are going to have to pay the full weight of those fees. And at some point, you're going to have to, hear the music, as they say. You're going to have to come full with it. You're going to have to pay those fees, and you're going to have to figure out how to survive. And I don't know how that works unless you were to bring in private equity or to somehow become flush with cash to make these payments not a big deal. Withstanding that, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get out of this. So I actually think that this is really sad to see. And I think the Pac-12 is in more danger now than they've ever been of not surviving, because of how much of a financial hit you will take if you lose this case. And, for the Mountain West, I think you didn't have a choice. I think the Mountain West was put in a position to where, you were never going to acquiesce on the contract the Pac-12 signed. It didn't do you any good. And ultimately, you've added GCU here in the last 2 weeks or so. And now you're in a place where you're going to try to finish this fight, and, we'll see how it shakes out.
Ooh, and I can tell you a Mountain West administrator, an administrator at a Mountain West University, is saying the Pac-12's tenor and tone changed dramatically after we made the GCU announcement. But let's be honest, we were never making a deal in the first place. There was never a genuine desire to settle from one side. And I'm not talking about the Mountain West.
That's what I mean.
So there it appears, and again, take that as a grain of salt. That is from an administrator at a Mountain West University. And that's almost what you would expect, isn't it? That the Mountain West may have felt like there was acrimony the entire time, and then the Pac-12 felt like the breaking point came when they added GCU to the league early, which tells me they never wanted to settle in the first place.
I mean, you guys understand, we're talking about $150 million plus in exit fees and poaching fees combined.
Yeah.
This isn't some small amount of money. So I don't know, man. I think that
this is a terrible outcome.
Yeah. I'm sitting here and listen, if we want to be nice, we can say take it with a grain of salt. I agree. That's one person's opinion. Totally understand. But throughout this conversation, I've always said the Pac-12 does not have just an endless amount of money here. You don't have, what are you going to do? Put a payment plan together? Like, if you lose this case, I'm trying to think of the options because, in my opinion, the Pac-12 has way more to lose here than the Mountain West. The Pac-12, the Pac-12
Hugely.
is the one on the hook for the fees, not the Mountain West. So, if you're the Mountain West, you're sitting here saying, "Hey, you signed a document. We're happy to take you to court if you don't want to make a deal. We're trying to make a deal. You don't want to make a deal. Now you're getting all pissy with us, allegedly over the GCU adding, like, you know, and in the Boise State athletic director being all pissed about it, like I think that Pac-12 fan wants to say, hey, we're out of the woods. Everything's good. We're going to get this massive TV deal. We're all set. And I just don't see it that way. And I don't say that from a place of hating on the Pac-12. I say that from a place of genuine concern about the conference, regardless of my feelings toward the leadership of the conference. Like, this conference is in my opinion, in danger.
I don't know how you afford this if you're the Pac-12. I don't know how you afford this if you're the Mountain West. I don't know. I mean, you look at the acrimony between the two, and I can only tell you multiple texts coming in from sources around college football. We never expected to settle. They just never got into the conversation fully. I mean, if that's indeed the case, that the Pac-12 was never in the conversation fully, I mean, what were you even doing here? What was the point?
Listen to this side of the Pac-12 statement. Ross Dellinger just tweeting the Pac-12's statement. The Pac-12 remains committed to moving forward with legal action in response to the Mountain West's attempt to impose so-called poaching penalties. Provisions we believe are unlawful and intended to obstruct our ability to act in the best interest of our student athletes and member institutions. We are confident in the strength of our position and remain focused on upholding the academic excellence, athletic success, and proud tradition of the Pac-12. So your take is that the poaching penalties and provisions are unlawful because they're intended to obstruct your ability to
interference of commerce.
Like, what?
Yeah, I think it is incredibly difficult to win that case. I've talked to a lot of business lawyers, a lot of contract lawyers. I've told you I've talked to people in and outside of both conferences. And the main argument is, well, the Pac-12 knowingly signed a scheduling agreement that had a poaching provision in it. And I'll go back, and I think we still have the Gloria Navarez bite when she was on the show, where we talked about regret. Here's Gloria Navarez talking about that scheduling agreement. Do you regret it? Do you regret taking that step? Do you regret having those conversations with the Pac-12?
Not at all, because without that scheduling agreement, we wouldn't have the protections that we had that helped keep the league together.
Boy, that's a heck of a perspective. I give you a lot of credit for that, because it had been easy right there to say, yeah, I regret it. I wish we hadn't done it. Yeah, it would have been easy for her to say that. And I just think when you look at, the way that business was done, I think it's incredibly pragmatic that she signed that put that province in there and the Pac-12 signed it, because the only way the Pac-12 gets out of that is if there was duress. And they knowingly signed it. And again, the Pac-12 and their mouthpieces have been saying, well, it's an invalid contract. We knew that when we signed it. That's why we signed it. Well, there's also a good faith basis when you sign a contract. And if you knowingly signed a contract without a good faith effort to execute the terms of that contract, you're in breach of that contract. And when you have a provision in there that says you'll pay X amount of dollars if you poach our schools, and you sign that contract, you're going to pay X amount of dollars. And the richest part of this, and this is what I've always struggled with these universities, and this is my biggest problem with J.D. Wicker and Adela Della Torre at San Diego State. They're terrible business people, in my opinion. The only reason the Mountain West amended their contracts and their rules, if you will, is because of the way that San Diego State tried to leave the conference to go to the Pac-12. The Pac-12 melts down, and then they denied they ever tried to leave the conference. You sent a letter per the bylaws of the Mountain West to the commissioner and all of the presidents in the league saying we're leaving for the pro rata we deserve, and then tried to deny that. So because of that, you guys all remember that, the bylaws in the Mountain West were revised. Who revised those bylaws? I don't know, people like Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State. They all played a role in revising and then executing them. They put that on paper. They memorialized it. Everybody agreed to it. And now when you want to leave the conference with San Diego State, all of a sudden those exit fees are somehow reprehensible and terrible. And well, you're the one who agreed to it. And the only reason that she had to agree to it is because of what San Diego State did way back when the Pac-12 melted down. And now you want to say, well, we're gonna leave you high and dry and not pay those poaching fees. Well, you're going to pay poaching fees. Well, we're not going to pay the exit fees. Okay, tell me the basis. Tell me the basis where you can go to court and make the argument that those poaching fees are illegal or somehow not righteous when you're the one that wrote them. You wrote them. And now you're going to spend money on lawyers because you wanted to try and kill the Mountain West. And you thought you were getting UNLV, who again, and I with all due respect to Pac-12 fans, who continue to tweet at me about how, oh, UNLV is going to leave the Pac-12. They're leaving for the Pac-12. They're leaving. They signed a grant of rights, a new grant of rights, a long-form grant of rights, as everybody in the Mountain West has. And again, I will say, how can you be upset that the Mountain West is doing business after you were off the board? What are they supposed to do? Just stand around and wait and then die? Oh, that's what you want them to do. And now that they didn't do what you wanted them to do, now you want to go back to court and you want to sue and come on. This is stupidity. This is the Pac-12 paying lawyers. Do you guys understand that they set a record for legal fees by a conference? Do you guys understand that's how much money we're talking about? Nobody is going to win this lawsuit. There will be somebody declared a winner. And my guess is this settles. That's my guess. Never goes in front of a judge. But there will be a winner and there will be a loser. On paper, they won, they lost. Everybody's going to lose here. The only person not losing, the attorneys, because they're getting paid. But if you're the Pac-12, hey, how much pressure is there to finish up that media rights distribution deal? How much pressure is there now if you're the Mountain West to get a new TV deal done? And don't forget, Mountain West Media Days are coming up here. And we'll submit a request to get Gloria on the show again. Commissioner Navarez from the Mountain West. We've asked Teresa Gould and Merton Hanks multiple times to come on the show from the Pac-12. They've declined. But make no mistake about it. And you remember I said this July 15th. Nobody's winning this lawsuit because the money that you are going to pay, lawyers, do you know how hard it's going to be to dig out of that hole for the Pac-12? I need to know the CBS money now because the lion's share of your media rights deal, especially if you're paying the production cost on some of this or all of this, the lion's share of that money is now going to lawyers. So my question is, is the Pac-12 financially viable if they go to court on this and lose and have to pay those poaching fees and exit fees? Because people close to that situation have told me it's going to be really difficult financially if we don't get out of the poaching fees. And I reported this on the show. People in the Pac-12 universe believe that if they don't get out of those poaching fees, they're going to have a very difficult time making money for the next 3 to 5 years. Because they still have legal fees. They still have to pay production costs related to their broadcasts. Like, they're not making money. They're not doing branding deals. They're kind of just twisting. And what does this do? All this does is elongate the process. Do you think this is going to trial tomorrow? No. This will go to trial in 2026, if ever, and I don't think it will ever go to trial. I think there will be a settlement. Everybody talks tough until you got to go make your case in front of a judge.
I.e. Michigan.
Everybody talks tough. So I think this is really tragic for Pac-12 and Mountain West fans. Because, yeah, Eric, they should have just merged.
I agree.
They should have just merged.
And I do, again, we'll look back on this, Eric. Good point. We'll look back on this in, I don't know, 3 years probably, I would guess. And we'll sit here and we'll say, like, let's say in 3 years, the Pac-12 doesn't exist as an example. We'll look back on this and say, yep, your pride killed the Pac-12. Your pride and your look down your nose mentality killed your conference.
And all 8,000 of you watching the show right now, answer this question. Do you believe that either one of these conferences can somehow consistently get to the college football playoff in the next 3 to 5 years?
Do you believe?
I have no doubt. They're both very strong basketball conferences. But if basketball is 20% of your media rights deal, bro, you got to go to the college football playoff a la Boise last year. But is there anybody in this watching this show? And again, all 8,000 of you, 8,080 of you watching this show right now. Does any of you believe that either one of these conferences will thrive? Because every day that this doesn't settle, I think the hill gets steeper to climb.
Oh, and I think what's the other important factor here? Like, one of these people is getting paid either way. One of these conferences is getting paid either way. The only question is how much that money is going to be, right? Because we all agree with that, right? Like, we're all on the same page that at some level, whether that be 100%, 50%, like, I don't know what it'll wind up being. But the Mountain West is going to get paid. And we're just squabbling over how much that's going to be. So, again, I just sit here and I say, I agree with you. Every day that goes by, you're just elongating the process to paying your way out of this.
You're making the business of college athletics much more expensive and more difficult.
Yes.
Because opportunities shrink. Now you're penny pinching, right? You look at this story about USC. Did anybody see the USC thing? And what was it? $2 billion, I think. That in a letter to faculty, you guys want to talk about, and I think the economy plays a major role in every conversation we have about sports. And I think when we start talking about what the reality of life is, if USC is struggling to the tune of $200 million, what do you think the Mountain West and the Pac-12 schools are doing? Now, the budgets are different, but it all spends the same. And the truth is, the money at the G5 level is significantly less than the Pac-12, old Pac-12 USC, and now Big Ten USC.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten making a lot more money at USC for media rights deals, all of that. And they have a $200 million deficit. And now Sue Kim, the president, is saying that there is going to be painful changes ahead at SC. Are we really having a conversation about how much is too much to pay lawyers?
Are we really having a conversation about USC canceling athletic sports, like sports in their athletic department? God
damn it. It's not athletics that's got a $200 million deficit, bro. Look at you have such a bone over this. Did he say USC interim president Byung-Soo Kim warned of painful changes for the university due to an unsustainable deficit? Do you really think that they're talking about athletics? I'm sure athletics obviously plays a role in it.
Yeah, but USC athletics is also one of your leading revenue generators.
And I'm going to say that USC football is not operating at a deficit. It's not their travel costs. It's the problem, dude.
Yeah.
They are in, I think USC is one of the most poorly managed universities on the West Coast. So I would say that's the bigger problem, James. How did they not settle? Because I don't think the Pac-12 ever wanted to settle. My firm opinion has been for several months. They just want to drag it out. They're hoping to drag the Mountain West down. I don't think they, in my opinion, I don't believe they ever made a good faith basis to settle. And then when GCU was added to the conference and they had their petulant little meltdown in Boise and they threatened to sue, I'm going to say that was the lever they needed to pull to exit mediation and say we're done. Now, nobody at the Mountain West has told me that. And obviously, I've asked the Mountain West Conference for comment. But it's very interesting. Texas State, $400 million versus Michigan, $13.2 billion. It's just a different way of doing business. It's a different way of doing business. Joseph Harper, I'm surprised any college program can survive with the cost of stuff here in California. It's wild. It is really expensive. USC is going to stop being a university and just be a sports business. Well, they also have an incredible medical school. They also have an incredible
I don't think
theater program and drama program and
USC
movies.
education's not going anywhere, dude.
No. But what happens when you need to cut budgets at a university? Yeah, how's that water polo program that not existing anymore? That's what's going to happen. Has Oak State looked at USC's 26th class? They definitely don't have money problems. Yeah. Have you? I wish people could understand. Oak State James has a constant
stay hard
for travel with, he was talking about how Stanford and Cal were going to join the Pac-12.
It's an erection.
Because, oh my God, they can't travel that. What? You ever heard of Stanford's endowment? They're not hurting for money, man. It's not that USC is broke because Lincoln Riley's got to travel further. That's not how business is done. Athletics in college sports operate as a different entity than the university. When does that get you in trouble? When Arizona is taking the cash flow out of their bank account, like their daily bank account. They're like, hey man, I need new jock straps. All right, let me go to the ATM. Like that's when Arizona got in their $240 million hole. Right. So, Patrick Roybal. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you. With my wife, a Cal alum, it makes us feel warm and cozy that the two Judas schools are struggling financially. UCLA is not well off either. There is no doubt about that. I mean, I think when you look at UCLA and USC is not struggling financially in academics, but I think it's very difficult. Like Cal Berkeley financially is in a hole. There's no question about it. Memorial Stadium alone.
Right.
And, Roybal, that. Like the Memorial Stadium project was an absolute disaster. And it's, it's tough to be in the business of education. USC being a private school is what's killing it. Look at UCLA. Their opposite athletic is what killing UCLA, especially the Rose Bowlies. Jesus, the Rose Bowl's a wreck for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wreck for them. I think, in my opinion, I think that this situation with the Mountain West and the Pac-12 it's a tragedy, man. And it continues this narrative that I have on the Pac-12. It never had to happen. This whole conversation never had to happen. The Pac-12 should have taken a $30 to $40 million per school deal and gone on about their business.
Sunset, dude.
Gone on about they had that deal. And they didn't want to do it.
And it was a proper deal. Like,
should have taken less money to get Pac-12 Network on DirecTV. Wouldn't do it. Should have gone to YouTube TV and talked to YouTube. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. And I feel like it's nothing short of a disaster. That the Pac-12 should still be a power conference with Oregon and Oregon State, Washington and Washington State. With all of them, man, it just should never have happened.
Totally agree.
And this continues that tragedy because this conference, and I don't care if you are the most ardent supporter of the Pac-12, these legal fees are absolutely 1,000-pound weight strapped to your balls, dude. Like that's as plainly as I can put it. This is killing you. And it's just year after year. Every year, the Pac-12 has a major lawsuit. Every year they're paying legal fees. They're suing themselves. They're suing other people. They're causing situations to get themselves sued. They're repaying Comcast. It just keeps going.